a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC News and brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. The Ontario County Board of Supervisors will take a cooling-off period before voting on a resolution against Governor Andrew Cuomo's prison education plan. The governor's controversial plan to offer prison inmates free college education has drawn a good bit of emotional opposition. Many Republican elected officials say inmates shouldn't get considerations that law-abiding people don't get. The Ontario County Supervisors debated a resolution to the governor Thursday night urging him to withdraw the plan. Niagara and St. Lawrence counties have already gone on record against it. After considerable debate and a good deal of passion on both sides, the supervisors decided to hold off 3 weeks and think things over before taking a vote. The state reports New York's jobless rate fell from 7 to 6.8% in January, the lowest level since 2008. The New York State Labor Department says the state added 5,400 jobs during January. More than 7.5 million New Yorkers are working in non-government jobs, which is an all-time high. Rochester added 1,600 jobs to its economy over the 12 months of 2013. The regional unemployment rates will be released later. Less than 24 hours after Republican Rob Astorino announced for governor, a potential challenger to the GOP nomination is making a visit to Syracuse. Onondaga County Republican Chairman Thomas Dady Jr. says billionaire Donald Trump will speak at an event in Syracuse March 11th. Trump is interested in the Republican nomination against Democrat Andrew Cuomo. Meanwhile, Rob Astorino is visiting Rochester and Syracuse on Friday. Rochester area Russians and Ukrainians plan to march together in support of a peaceful solution to the military crisis in Crimea. They will rally downtown Sunday afternoon at Washington Square Park. They say Russian-speaking Ukrainian and Russian Americans of Rochester want to see the Russian forces withdraw from Crimea, and they want to see Ukraine and Russia talking with each other. They say many of them have friends and families in both countries, and they find it unthinkable that they could be on the verge of war with each other. State transportation officials want to know if upstate New Yorkers think it's worth spending millions of dollars to speed up passenger trains across the Empire Corridor, the rail line that's roughly parallel to the thruway and the Erie Canal between Albany and Buffalo. Those former New York Central Railroad tracks carry several passenger trains a day, but they have to dodge CSX freight trains, which often delays them, and they're limited to just under 70 miles per hour when they can get a clear stretch of track. The State Transportation Department is looking at several multi-million-dollar alternatives for speeding up that service and making it more competitive with planes. They include adding one or more passenger-only tracks so Amtrak wouldn't have to share the CSX rails. The City of Rochester and area colleges are joining the Rochester Education Foundation in what they call March College Madness, an effort to break down any barriers keeping Rochester high school students from finding their way to college financial aid. Mayor Lovely Warren's office says the partners will set up at several locations around the city March 22nd and March 29th to help students interested in college fill out the FAFSA. That's the basic application for federal student aid. They're offering one-on-one help from trained volunteers. There's been an unusual number of drug arrests in Livingston County this week. The sheriff's office says it has seized nearly 800 bags of heroin in several different arrests. This started Monday when a man from Olean was pulled over on 390 and turned out to have 290 individual doses of heroin in his car. A day later, deputies stopped the car with 2 more Olean men inside and 140 bags of heroin. They admitted buying the drug in Rochester to sell in the southern tier. And then yesterday morning, Livingston County deputies and Mount Morris police arrested a parole violator and took more than 350 bags of heroin from his home. Law enforcement in Orleans County says a Rochester man was arrested Thursday after a year-long investigation by the Orleans County Major Felony Crime Task Force and Rochester Police. Luke Lawhorn, a 27-year-old city resident, is charged with 4 counts of criminal sale of a controlled substance. He was running crack cocaine from Rochester into Orleans County. The Orleans County Sheriff's Office says this is an ongoing investigation and more arrests are expected. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of our pages and catch one, and we post updates to our pages through the day as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC Worldwide.